Elmasry is the chair of journalism program at the Doha Institute for Graduate Studies. He joins us now here in the studio. Good to have you back. Mohamad, given that the outcome is so certain, we know that Sisi's going to win, just how seriously are people there taking this election?
Well, his supporters are taking it seriously, right? All indications are that the voter turnout is going to be pretty low. If you read the reports, the Associated Press, the New York Times, the Guardian, foreign correspondents in Cairo are saying that there's not a lot of traffic in and out of the voting precincts. So that's an indication that the majority of Egyptians are not taking this very seriously, that they view it as a sham election. And I don't think that Sisi's going to come out of this with the kind of popular mandate that he wants.
No, but the victory will allow him to tighten his grip on the presidency and indeed society.
I don't think there's any question. I mean, it's not as though he needs, any other help in that department. I mean, he's been able to successfully consolidate power for the most part using the institutions of Egypt's deep state, all of which are at his disposal. So I expect that in the coming months and years, he'll continue to consolidate power, to kind of weed out competitors from within the security apparatus. He does have some rivals inside of the military, inside of the police apparatus. I think he'll work to try to weed those folks out, and he'll continue to try to consolidate power.
I mean, we talked about this before. We speculated on whether or not he's likely to try to extend his term beyond the two-term limit. But now I'm wondering whether he's going to meet much resistance, whether that's going to be a red line that people aren't going to be happy with, whether in the institution, in the establishment, or out on the streets.
Well, there are many Egyptians who are not happy, neither with the suggestion that he should run that he should be allowed to run for a third term, or with the social situation, the economic situation, the political situation. The problem is, what are these people able to do practically from a pragmatic standpoint? Not much. People who have tried to oppose Sisi have been either arrested en masse, or they've been killed in the streets trying to protest, or they've been arrested and then sentenced to death using all these draconian legislation. So there aren't really many democratic opportunities or openings in an authoritarian government like Sisi's.
What does he need to do in this second term? What does he need to deliver to Egyptians?
I think his biggest challenge, I think there are a number of challenges, but I think the biggest one is the economic challenge. UNICEF says that almost 30% of Egyptians live in poverty, and almost 10 million Egyptian children live in poverty. So while the government's been able to improve on some of these macroeconomic indicators like GDP and foreign reserves, the average Egyptian has kind of been lost in the shuffle. With inflation, and inflation reached 30% in 2017, the price of goods has gone up, and life has become actually much more difficult for the average Egyptian.
How much does he need international support to achieve that?
I think he's going to need some international buy-in, and as I've said, and as I said a couple of days ago when I was on with you, he has a pretty good pocket of international support. There hasn't been a lot of resistance from Western governments, from the Trump administration or prior to the Trump administration, the Obama administration. They've continued to aid the Egyptian government diplomatically and also financially. So I think he's probably okay in that department. The challenge is, how is he going to bring back tourism? How is he going to bring back foreign investment? And how is he going to bring those inflation rates down?
Big challenges ahead. Mohamad Elmasry, good as ever to speak to you. Thanks very much.
Thanks.